Have you ever noticed how easily your peace disappears? One text, one look, one tiny disappointment, and suddenly your whole mood shifts. It's like your emotions are on autopilot, owned by everything outside of you. But here's the truth. The world isn't the problem. Your reaction to it is. You weren't born to be controlled by noise, by people's opinions, or by yesterday's pain. You were meant to master your mind, not live at the mercy of it. Imagine waking up and nothing gets to you. Not their words, not their silence, not even your past. That kind of power is real, and this video will show you how to find it, not by escaping emotions, but by rising above them. Stay with me until the end, because the final lesson will flip the way you see your entire life. Lesson 1. Own your mind or be owned. Here's the raw truth. If you don't take control of your mind, someone or something else will. Your mind is like fire. Controlled, it's a source of light, warmth, and strength. Uncontrolled, it burns everything in its path. Most people are walking through life unaware of this dynamic. They get triggered, manipulated, distracted, not because they're weak, but because their mind was never trained to be resilient. The result? A life full of emotional reactions, fleeting happiness, and stolen peace. You react to everything. Someone's harsh words, a slight inconvenience, a little bit of stress, and each time you lose a little piece of yourself. Buddha said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Every thought you have plants a seed. Negative thoughts grow into anxiety, self-doubt, and worry. Angry thoughts grow into regret, bitterness, and pain. Unchecked fear becomes your prison, trapping you in a cycle of helplessness. But when you own your mind, you take back your power, moment by moment. You realize that what you think and feel is entirely in your hands. You control the direction of your energy and your emotional state. This is where true freedom lies. Owning your mind doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending you're immune to pain. It means being aware of your emotions, observing them without letting them control you. When your thoughts try to spiral into chaos, you watch them like clouds passing across the sky. You don't react to every storm, you let it pass. And in that pause, you realize you have a choice to either react and lose control, or to step back, breathe, and regain your peace. That's mental mastery. Start treating your peace like it's sacred. When your mind tries to drag you into past regrets or future fears, bring it back to the present moment. Focus on your breath, your awareness, your choices. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who can choose whether to believe them or let them go. In those moments of discomfort, choose calm. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Catch yourself in those little moments. When you're about to overthink, when you're about to snap, when your inner voice gets loud and demanding. That's the moment to pause. That's the moment to choose power over reaction. By doing so, you regain control of your mind and your peace. You become the observer of your thoughts, not the prisoner. Own your mind, or be owned by fear, anger, and chaos. This is the foundation of true freedom. Without it, you'll always be reacting, letting the outside world dictate your inner state. But with it, you become unshakable. You no longer give away your peace to the world. Nothing and no one can touch you again, not even your own mind. This is the power of self-mastery, and it's the first step toward becoming untouchable. Lesson 2, protect your peace. Like it's war. Your peace is the most precious thing you have, and yet most people give it away without a second thought. The truth is, peace isn't something that just happens. It's something you must guard, fiercely. If you don't actively protect it, life will steal it from you. The people around you, the chaos of the world, the distractions and the never-ending noise, they're all trying to take it. They want you to be disturbed, agitated, and reactive. But here's the secret. Peace is power, and when you protect it, you become unstoppable. Imagine you're a warrior guarding the most sacred part of yourself. Your peace is your fortress, and you're its protector. The enemy? Anything that disturbs your inner calm, whether it's someone's rude comment, a stressful situation, or the constant pull of external demands. Every time you react to something that doesn't deserve your energy, you lose a little bit of that peace. That's why you must protect it like it's war. Because it is. Your mind is the battlefield, and every time you allow negativity or distraction to enter, it's a loss. When Buddha taught about the importance of inner peace, he wasn't just talking about avoiding conflict. He was teaching us how to stay grounded in the midst of it, how to remain unshaken no matter what's happening around you. The key to this is awareness. You must be aware of the things that threaten your peace. Is it your boss's harsh words, your family's drama, the constant pressure to keep up with everyone else's expectations? These are all enemies to your peace, and when you recognize them, you can choose to stand firm and refuse to engage. Protecting your peace isn't about avoiding the world. It's about choosing not to let the world dictate your emotional state. It's about creating boundaries, both external and internal, that keep you safe from the chaos. When you allow people, situations, or your own negative thoughts to disturb you, you're giving away your power, and the more you give, the less you have. So how do you protect your peace? First, recognize that you're in control of your response. You can't control what others do, but you can control how you react. The next time something or someone tries to disrupt your peace, take a step back. Breathe. Assess the situation. Do you really need to react, or can you let it go? The more you practice this, the stronger your peace becomes. Soon, nothing and no one will be able to disturb your calm. Protect your peace like it's war, because in this world it is. Your peace is your most powerful weapon, and when you guard it, you stand invincible. Lesson 3, burn the bridge. If it leads to pain. Sometimes we hold on to things that harm us. We tell ourselves that we'll get over it, that we can deal with the pain, but the truth is, there are some bridges that should never be crossed again. Some relationships, habits, and situations are like bridges leading to pain, suffering, and stagnation. And while we may feel the pull to go back, to keep engaging, to try just one more time, sometimes the only way to move forward is to burn that bridge. Buddha's teachings remind us that attachment is the root of suffering. We attach ourselves to people, places, and situations that no longer serve us. We stay in relationships that drain us, jobs that don't fulfill us, and habits that hold us back. The bridge to these things might look familiar, comforting even, but if it leads to pain, it's time to set it on fire. Let it go. Burn it down. The more you hold on to toxic attachments, the more you chain yourself to a cycle of misery. You don't need to hold on to the past or the people who hurt you. You don't need to keep revisiting old wounds. If a situation no longer contributes to your growth, if it continuously drains your energy, or if it brings you nothing but negativity, burn the bridge. It's better to let go than to stay stuck in a cycle that only prolongs your suffering. Burning a bridge is an act of self-love. It's a declaration that you are worthy of peace, happiness, and growth. It's a decision to no longer accept pain as a part of your life. Instead of clinging to the familiar, you make space for new, better experiences. You free yourself from the weight of toxic attachments that prevent you from moving forward. This doesn't mean you have to hate or resent the past. It doesn't mean burning bridges with everyone who's ever wronged you. It means recognizing when something or someone is no longer right for you and choosing to step away. The ability to let go is one of the greatest acts of strength you can show. It takes courage to walk away from what's familiar, but it takes even more strength to release the things that hold you back. So when you find yourself stuck in situations that keep causing you pain, ask yourself, Is this bridge worth crossing again? If the answer is no, burn it, let go, and move forward into the life that's waiting for you. Lesson 4. Turn pain into power. Pain is inevitable. It's a part of the human experience. Everyone goes through it, whether it's physical pain, emotional heartbreak, or the pain of losing something or someone important. But here's the secret. Pain doesn't have to be your enemy. In fact, pain can be your greatest ally if you know how to transform it. Most people run from their pain, try to numb it, or let it define them. But what if instead of running, you could harness that pain and use it as fuel for growth? What if pain could be the thing that propels you to a new level of strength? Buddha once said, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." Pain is part of life, but how you choose to react to it makes all the difference. Pain can either break you or make you. It's your choice. In every painful experience, there is a lesson. It's not about avoiding pain, but about understanding it and learning to rise above it. Pain, when viewed through the right lens, is not a punishment. It's a teacher. And if you learn from it, it can become the greatest source of power you ever have. When you feel pain, whether it's the sting of rejection, the ache of loss, or the discomfort of failure, you're given a choice. You can let it consume you, sink into despair, or you can choose to rise from it. You can turn that pain into something powerful. Every setback, every hardship is an opportunity to become stronger, more resilient, and more determined. The pain you feel in this moment can either be your downfall or your breakthrough. It's all about how you respond. Turning pain into power isn't about denying your emotions or pretending that everything is okay. It's about embracing your pain, acknowledging it, and then deciding to use it to fuel your progress. When you face hardship, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? The pain of today can be the strength of tomorrow. The key is to stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a warrior. You are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you rise above it. The first step in turning pain into power is acceptance. You must accept that pain is a natural part of life. It's unavoidable. You can't control when or how it will come, but you can control how you respond. By accepting pain, you free yourself from the burden of resistance. You stop fighting against it and instead start learning from it. The second step is perspective. Instead of seeing pain as a negative, see it as an opportunity for growth. When you're faced with adversity, shift your mindset. Ask yourself, how can this experience help me grow? What is this teaching me? By changing your perspective, you begin to see that pain is not a roadblock. It's a stepping stone to something greater. Finally, take action. Don't let your pain define you or keep you stuck. Use it as motivation to take steps forward, even if they're small ones. The more you move forward, the less power pain has over you. Each time you take action, no matter how painful, you're building strength and resilience. You're proving to yourself that you can endure, overcome, and grow stronger. When you learn to turn pain into power, you no longer fear it. You understand that it's not here to defeat you, it's here to prepare you for the next level. Pain is not a punishment, but a preparation. It's shaping you into the person you need to be in order to live a life of strength, wisdom, and purpose. So the next time pain knocks on your door, don't run. Welcome it, learn from it, and turn it into power. When you do, you'll realize that pain is not your enemy, it's your ally. And the more you embrace it, the stronger you become. This is how you rise from the ashes. This is how you transform pain into power. Lesson 5. Stop explaining. Start evolving. One of the greatest traps we fall into is the need to explain ourselves. We feel compelled to justify our decisions, our actions, and even our existence to others. We seek validation, approval, or simply the comfort of being understood. But here's the hard truth. The more you explain, the less power you have. You can never fully explain yourself to everyone, and trying to do so will only drain your energy and stunt your growth. The key to real power and peace lies in stopping the need to explain and instead starting the process of evolving. Buddha once said, "You will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger." The same applies to explaining. You will not be punished by the fact that you choose to evolve, but you will be punished by the endless need to explain your every choice. When you explain yourself, you're essentially saying, "I need you to understand me. I need your approval." But the truth is, you don't need anyone's approval to be who you are. You don't need to explain your path to anyone. Your journey is yours, and it doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. When you constantly find yourself explaining why you do what you do or defending your choices, you're telling the world that your worth depends on their understanding. You're giving away your power by allowing others to dictate your value. You don't need to explain yourself. You simply need to live with conviction and let your actions speak for themselves. Your energy, focus, and time are far too valuable to waste on trying to get people to get you. Instead of explaining, focus on evolving. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Let your growth and transformation be so undeniable that no explanation is needed. People will see your evolution, they will feel your energy, and they will understand you by what you do, not by what you say. True power comes from being authentic, from staying true to yourself, and from growing beyond what others expect of you. Stop explaining and start evolving. When you stop defending yourself and just live your truth, you release the need for others to approve of you. You release the burden of trying to convince everyone that your path is the right one. The more you evolve, the less you will feel the need to explain yourself. Your results, your peace, and your energy will speak for you. This doesn't mean shutting people out or becoming arrogant. It means setting boundaries around your energy and no longer wasting time on things that drain you. Stop explaining and stop seeking validation. Instead, evolve into someone who is so confident, so grounded in their purpose, that their actions and presence speak louder than any explanation ever could. When you stop explaining, you'll find that you free up your time, your energy, and your mind. You'll find that you have more space to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your peace, and your purpose. The need to explain yourself is a trap that only keeps you stuck in the same cycle of seeking approval. But when you stop seeking that approval and start focusing on evolving, you create a new path for yourself. You become unstoppable. Your evolution is your explanation, and that will always be enough. So stop explaining. Start evolving. Your future self will thank you. Lesson 6. Silence is your weapon. In a world filled with constant noise, opinions, arguments, social media rants, unsolicited advice, silence is a powerful tool, but it's not just any silence. It's the silence that comes from within, the kind of quiet that makes you unshakable. It's not the absence of sound, but the presence of peace, the kind of silence that lets you observe the world around you without being pulled into it. When you learn how to wield silence as a weapon, you gain something far more valuable than any response or reaction: control. Buddha taught us that silence is the language of the wise. Too often we feel the urge to speak, to defend ourselves, or to react. We think that by speaking up, we assert control over a situation, but the reality is, we often lose power when we react impulsively. Words are powerful, yes, but silence is even more so. When you choose to remain silent, you control the situation, not the other way around. Silence doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world. It means being so in tune with your inner peace that you don't need to fill the air with noise. It means standing firm in your center, regardless of the chaos around you. People may try to provoke you, engage you in arguments, or draw you into drama. But if you remain silent, you deny them that power. You are not controlled by their words, by their emotions, or by their drama. You are in control. Imagine a situation where someone tries to provoke you with harsh words or a challenge. The natural instinct is to respond, to prove yourself, to defend your honor. But when you remain silent, you disarm them. Their words, their energy have no effect on you because you're not feeding into it. You stand still, unwavering, and their power over you vanishes. It's like a storm raging around you, but you remain calm, still unaffected. Silence becomes your shield, and you become untouchable. Silence is not weakness, it's strength in its purest form. It's the strength to not be dragged into every battle. It's the strength to stand firm and not respond to negativity, not feed into drama, and not allow the world's noise to disturb your inner peace. True power lies in the ability to remain silent when the world wants to pull you into chaos. It's the ability to watch the storm without becoming part of it. When you use silence as a weapon, you don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to prove your worth. Your silence is the ultimate declaration of strength. People will try to provoke you, but when you remain silent, they'll find themselves facing a wall. They'll try to get a reaction, but they'll come up empty. And in that emptiness, they'll realize that you are not someone who can be easily manipulated, controlled, or shaken. The practice of silence is a way of saying, I don't need to explain myself to anyone. My presence speaks for itself. In silence, there is power. In silence, there is clarity. In silence, there is peace. And when you master the art of silence, you hold the key to your own invincibility. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where someone tries to provoke or challenge you, remember this. You don't need to respond. Your silence is your weapon. Use it wisely. Let it speak louder than words ever could. And in that silence, you'll discover the unshakable power that comes from within. Lesson 7, detach. Don't beg to stay. One of the hardest things to do in life is to let go. Whether it's a relationship, a job, or a belief system, we tend to cling to things that we feel we can't live without. But here's a truth that most people don't want to hear. Nothing in life is permanent. People come, people go. Situations change. And the more you try to hold on to something that isn't meant for you, the more you tie yourself to suffering. The art of detachment is not about rejection, it's about freedom. Buddha taught us that attachment is the root of suffering. When we attach ourselves to people, places, or outcomes, we give up our freedom. We rely on external circumstances for our happiness. And when they change, when they inevitably slip through our fingers, we're left devastated. But detachment doesn't mean you stop caring or that you turn cold. It means you understand the impermanence of life and choose not to bind your happiness to anything outside of yourself. Detaching isn't about pushing people away or shutting yourself off emotionally. It's about learning to let go of the need to control the outcome. It's about accepting that sometimes people will leave, sometimes things will change, and sometimes you'll need to walk away from situations that no longer serve you. The key is to never beg for something to stay that is meant to go. If something or someone is leaving your life, let it happen. Begging to stay is a form of attachment that only weakens you. It's a surrender of your personal power. When you're attached to someone or something, you lose yourself. You become reliant on external validation to feel complete. But when you detach, you regain your power. You free yourself from the fear of loss. Detachment means you love, you care, you invest. But you do so without needing to control. You give people the space to be who they are and let things unfold without forcing them to stay. In relationships, for example, if someone is meant to be in your life, they will stay without you having to beg or plead for their presence. When you beg for someone to stay, you communicate that their presence is more important than your peace. You abandon your own worth in the hopes that they will choose you, But by detaching, you communicate that you are whole on your own. You give the other person the choice to stay willingly, without manipulation or desperation. If they choose to leave, you are at peace because you know you gave them the freedom to make their decision. Detachment is about standing firm in your worth, not needing anyone or anything to validate it. It's about trusting that whatever is meant for you will find its way to you. When you stop begging, you start to attract what is truly aligned with your growth. You stop holding on to things that weigh you down, and you make room for the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances to enter your life. Letting go of the need to beg or hold on to what isn't meant for you is a process of reclaiming your power. It's about realizing that your happiness doesn't depend on other people's decisions and that your peace is more important than anyone else's approval. Detach, and you will see that the universe has a way of bringing you what you truly need, what is aligned with your growth and your purpose. So if you find yourself holding on, desperately trying to make something or someone stay, ask yourself, why am I begging? Why am I clinging to this? The answer will show you where you need to let go. Detach. Don't beg to stay. And in that space, you will discover the freedom, peace, and self-worth that you've been searching for all along. Lesson 8, rebuild so they can't break you. There's a common misconception that strength is something you're born with. People often believe that certain individuals are just naturally tough, resilient, or unshakable. But the truth is, strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Strength is forged through adversity, through the challenges you face and the choices you make in response to them. Strength is the result of rebuilding over and over again until you become someone who cannot be broken. The world will test you. People will hurt you. Life will throw obstacles in your path, and at times it will feel like everything is against you. But here's the key. It's not about avoiding the storm. It's about how you rebuild afterward. The real test isn't in what happens to you, but in how you respond to what happens. The world can do its worst, but if you rebuild with purpose and intent, they can't break you. Buddha said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Pain, struggle, and loss are inevitable parts of life, but within those challenges is an opportunity for growth. When something breaks you, you have a choice. You can let it leave you shattered, or you can use it as the foundation for rebuilding. Every setback, every failure, and every heartbreak carries with it the seed of transformation. You can choose to be a victim of your circumstances, or you can choose to rise, stronger and more resilient than ever. Rebuilding means letting go of the past and deciding that you will not let the pain or the experiences define you. It means refusing to let anyone or anything hold power over your sense of self-worth. Too often we hold on to what hurt us, believing that it's part of who we are. But that's the trap. If you hold on to the past, you allow it to define your future. If you rebuild, however, you turn your pain into power and your past into a stepping stone. You see, the most resilient people aren't the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who face it head-on and emerge from it with a deeper understanding of themselves. Rebuilding means using each experience as an opportunity to refine yourself. It means taking the lessons learned from every challenge and using them to shape the person you're becoming. Every time something or someone tries to break you, you have the opportunity to rebuild, to rise again with more strength and wisdom. But rebuilding doesn't just mean picking up the pieces of yourself. It means looking at the broken parts, understanding why they broke, and then choosing to fortify them. It means making intentional changes so that you don't repeat the same patterns. Rebuilding is a conscious effort. It requires self-awareness, growth, and the willingness to evolve. If you rebuild without changing, then you're not truly growing. You're just putting yourself back together in the same way that you were before. And that leaves you vulnerable to being broken again. True strength comes from transformation. When you rebuild yourself, you don't just go back to who you were. You create a new version of yourself, one that is more aligned with your purpose and more resilient in the face of adversity. Each time you rebuild, you grow into someone who cannot be broken. You become someone who stands firm, unshaken, regardless of what life throws your way. You develop a sense of self so strong that nothing and no one can tear it down. This process of rebuilding doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and a willingness to face the hard truths about yourself. But each step you take toward rebuilding is a step closer to becoming unshakable. Each time you face hardship and decide not to let it define you, you strengthen your inner foundation. You become the person who no longer fears being broken because you know that you can always rebuild. To rebuild means to let go of the old stories that no longer serve you. It means creating new narratives about who you are and who you want to become. It means learning to trust yourself again, even when others have let you down. Rebuilding means developing the emotional intelligence to respond to challenges with resilience and clarity, rather than reacting out of pain or fear. When you choose to rebuild, you choose to take control of your life, to stop letting the past define your future. You choose to stop living in the shadows of your past mistakes and pain, and instead you choose to create a future built on strength, wisdom, and purpose. But here's the most important part. No one else can rebuild you. It's a personal journey. People may try to help, and you may find support in others, but ultimately, the responsibility to rebuild your life, your peace, and your strength lies with you. Don't wait for someone to fix you. You are the architect of your own life. Only you can decide how strong you want to be and how unshakable you want to become. So when life hits you with hardship, don't stay down. Don't let it break you. Rebuild. When they try to tear you down, rise again. With each rebuilding, you grow more powerful, more grounded, and more at peace with who you are. And eventually you'll reach a point where nothing and no one can break you, not because you're invincible, but because you have learned the art of rebuilding over and over again. And in doing so, you've built a foundation that cannot be shaken. Rebuild so they can't break you. Because when you rebuild with intention, with purpose, and with the lessons of your past, you become unshakable. Lesson 9, reject drama. Protect your life. In today's world, drama is everywhere. It's in the news, on social media, in our relationships, and even in the workplace. Drama seems to have become a part of life that many people just accept as normal. But here's the harsh truth. Drama is poison. It drains your energy, wastes your time, and distracts you from the life you could be living. And if you let it, it will slowly destroy your peace, your focus, and your well-being. The key to living a life of peace and power is learning to reject drama and protect your energy at all costs. Drama is a distraction, a clever tool used by the world to keep you engaged in things that don't serve you. It's designed to pull you out of your center and into chaos. Whether it's a friend who constantly stirs up conflict, a family member who thrives on drama, or the endless noise of online arguments and gossip, it's all designed to take your attention away from your true purpose and the things that really matter. Drama feeds on your energy, and the more you give into it, the more it controls you. Buddha taught us to avoid evil, do good, purify the mind. Rejecting drama is one of the most powerful ways to purify your mind. It's about consciously choosing where you invest your time and energy. Drama is not just about arguments and fights. It's about anything that disrupts your inner peace. It's the constant noise, the endless complaints, the toxicity that surrounds you. If you let it in, it will chip away at your peace until it's gone. But if you reject it, you protect your life and your soul. Rejecting drama doesn't mean isolating yourself or becoming detached from reality. It doesn't mean ignoring people who need you or turning away from situations that require your attention. It simply means you are choosing to not engage with things that are designed to pull you off course. When you reject drama, you make a conscious decision not to let other people's problems, insecurities, or conflicts interfere with your life. You set clear boundaries and protect your peace. The first step to rejecting drama is awareness. You need to recognize the patterns that lead you into drama-filled situations. Are there certain people or environments that always seem to drag you into chaos? Are there certain topics or conversations that you know will only result in frustration or conflict? Once you're aware of where the drama is coming from, you can choose to step back. You can choose to no longer participate in the toxic dynamics. You can choose to protect your energy by disengaging from situations that drain you. Protecting your life is about protecting your peace. It's about refusing to allow outside forces to dictate how you feel. When you reject drama, you stop letting other people's emotional volatility affect your inner world. You don't allow their issues to become your issues. You don't allow their anger, sadness, or frustration to disturb your equilibrium. You become the calm in the storm, the steady presence that doesn't react, doesn't engage, and doesn't lose control. Drama thrives on your reactions. It survives because people get caught up in the drama of others. When you don't react, the drama fades away. It has nothing to feed on. People who thrive on drama often do so because they get the attention and energy they crave when others react. But when you choose not to react, you take away their power. You stop the cycle. You refuse to participate in the toxic dynamics. And by doing so, you make it clear that you will no longer allow drama to control your life. There's an undeniable strength in walking away from drama. It takes strength to not react when someone is trying to provoke you. It takes strength to refuse to engage when someone is stirring the pot. But that strength is a choice. Every time you choose to walk away from drama, you strengthen your resolve. You reinforce the idea that your peace is sacred, and you protect it with everything you have. Rejecting drama also means rejecting the need for validation and approval from others. Drama often arises from a need for attention, a need to be seen or heard, or a need to be right. When you let go of the need for validation and focus on your own inner peace, you stop feeding into the drama. You no longer seek approval from others. You no longer try to prove your worth. You are enough as you are, and you don't need the drama of others to affirm that. At its core, rejecting drama is about choosing to live with intention. It's about creating the space for the things that matter: your purpose, your growth, your peace. It's about saying no to the distractions, the noise, and the chaos that want to pull you in different directions. By rejecting drama, you take control of your life. You protect your energy. You focus on what truly matters, and you live with clarity and power. So ask yourself, is the drama in your life really worth it? Is it worth losing your peace, your time, and your focus? The answer is no. Reject the drama, protect your peace, and watch how much easier and more fulfilling life becomes. You don't have to engage with every argument or take on every problem. You have the power to choose what enters your life and what stays out. When you reject drama, you free yourself to live a life of purpose and peace. Lesson 10. Be the storm. Stay unshaken. Life doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes it feels like everything is crashing down all at once. The noise, the chaos, the constant pressure. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control how you respond. And in the middle of all the storms of life, you have the power to be the storm itself, unshaken, unbothered, and standing strong. Being the storm means owning your inner power. It means becoming the force that others can't knock off course, no matter how intense the winds are. Storms come in many forms: stress at work, arguments with loved ones, financial struggles, unexpected failures. But the most important thing is how you choose to face them. You can let life's challenges knock you down, or you can rise up and take charge. The storm may rage outside, but inside, you remain solid, unshaken, and resolute. Buddha taught us that you will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. Life is full of triggers that can pull you into emotional chaos. Someone insults you, things don't go as planned, or you face a setback. It's easy to react, to get swept up in the storm of anger, frustration, and anxiety. But the real power is in remaining calm and centered, even when the world is pushing you to lose your cool. When you stay grounded, the storm loses its power over you. Being the storm doesn't mean you go around causing chaos or making things worse. It means you become the calm in the eye of the storm. You maintain control, focus, and clarity no matter what's happening around you. When everyone else is losing their heads, you stand strong. When emotions are high and people are panicking, you stay unshaken. You know that external circumstances don't define your peace. Only you have the power to do that. The key to staying unshaken is knowing who you are and what you stand for. When you have a clear sense of self, when you know your values and purpose, nothing can knock you off course. The storm may try to toss you around, but your foundation is solid. You stay grounded in your principles, and no matter how strong the winds blow, you remain firmly planted. One of the most powerful things you can do is practice mental resilience. The stronger your mind, the less likely you are to be swayed by outside forces. You can train yourself to remain calm and centered, no matter what's happening around you. This doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It means choosing to face adversity with a clear, focused mind, refusing to let the external world dictate how you feel. When you're faced with challenges, ask yourself, how will I respond? Will I let the storm control me, or will I be the storm? The choice is yours. You can either react impulsively and let the situation drag you down, or you can take a step back, breathe, and choose to face it with strength, calm, and clarity. By doing this, you'll notice that the storm, whether it's a personal conflict, a stressful situation, or an unexpected change, no longer has the power to control you. In every challenge, there's an opportunity to grow. Life's storms are not meant to destroy you. They're meant to reveal your true power. Each time you remain unshaken, you build a stronger foundation. You become more resilient, more capable, and more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. The more storms you face without losing your center, the more unshakable you become. When you choose to be the storm, you stop allowing external events to control your mood and mindset. You choose to rise above the chaos, to stand strong in your own energy, and to never let anything or anyone push you into reaction. It's not about avoiding the storm. It's about becoming so strong that the storm no longer has any power over you. You become the force that others look to for guidance, strength, and calm. You don't let the chaos around you dictate who you are. You stand firm, grounded in your inner peace. When life throws you a storm, whether big or small, remember, you don't have to let it break you. Be the storm. Stay unshaken. You are the force that can weather any storm and come out even stronger on the other side. Lesson 11. Heal in silence. Grow in private. Not everything needs to be shared. In fact, the most powerful healing, the deepest transformation, often happens in silence, away from the noise, away from the world's eyes, away from the constant need to explain yourself. When you're hurting, when you're evolving, when you're trying to become someone new, don't rush to make announcements. Heal in silence. Grow in private. Let your progress be felt, not posted. The truth is, growth is messy. Healing is not pretty. There are days where you'll feel lost, broken, confused, unsure. You might not even recognize yourself in the mirror. And that's okay. That's part of the process. But if you're constantly trying to perform your progress for others, you're not really healing. You're performing. Real growth is quiet. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need applause. It just needs space. Think about a seed. It grows underground, unseen, unnoticed, until one day it breaks through the surface and becomes something beautiful. But that powerful transformation, it happened in the dark. The same is true for you. Your healing doesn't need an audience. Your journey doesn't need approval. Your strength comes from what you overcome when no one is watching. Buddha taught that peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. When you start healing in silence, you stop seeking answers outside yourself. You go inward. You listen deeply. You sit with your pain, your wounds, your truth. And in that stillness, you begin to shift. You begin to let go. And slowly you begin to rise, stronger, wiser, softer. Growing in private also protects you. When you're rebuilding yourself, you're fragile. You're learning, unlearning, shedding old versions of yourself. And during this sacred phase, the last thing you need is noise, judgment, or doubt from others. Not everyone will understand your process. Not everyone will support it. Some might even mock it. That's why you keep it sacred. You keep it quiet. You grow without distractions. This doesn't mean you isolate completely or refuse help. It means you stop oversharing your struggles with people who haven't earned your trust. You stop broadcasting your goals before you've built the discipline to stay committed. You stop leaking your energy into places that don't water your soul. Silence becomes your shield. Privacy becomes your power. And then one day when they least expect it, the world sees a different version of you. Not because you told them, but because you showed them. You're calmer, clearer, stronger. You move differently. You speak with more purpose. You no longer react the way you used to. That's real growth. Not loud, not dramatic, just undeniable. So let this be your reminder. You don't have to explain your healing to anyone. You don't have to prove your progress. Let your silence speak. Let your presence show what words never could. Heal in silence. Grow in private. And let your transformation be your loudest comeback. Lesson 12. Let them go. Set yourself free. There comes a time in everyone's life when holding on becomes more painful than letting go. In that moment, though quiet, is the beginning of your freedom. You see, we're taught to fight for people, to hold tight, to never give up. But we're rarely taught when to walk away. We're rarely taught that peace sometimes comes not from fixing, but from releasing. And it's not always people. Sometimes it's your own expectations, your old identity, the roles you played just to be accepted. Sometimes it's the apology that never came, the closure you thought you needed, the dream that didn't work out. But here's the truth. If it's costing your peace, it's too expensive. And the longer you hold on, the longer you suffer. Letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. People often confuse detachment with coldness, as if to let go means you never cared. That's false. In fact, the deepest strength is in knowing when something no longer serves your growth and having the courage to release it with grace, not resentment. Think about it. How much mental space is occupied by people who left? Situations that broke you, things you can't change. You replay it. You argue in your head. You imagine better outcomes. And while you're doing that, life is moving forward without you. Buddha said, attachment is the root of all suffering. When you cling, you suffer. When you release, you heal. Letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about accepting. It's choosing to stop carrying things that were never meant to stay. It's about making peace with not getting all the answers. It's knowing that the right people, the right paths, the right peace never require you to beg. And no, it won't be easy. Your heart will protest. Your mind will revisit. You'll feel lonely at times. But those moments, they're the detox. That's the space where you rebuild. That's where the noise clears and the truth finally speaks. You are free. Let go of the need to be understood by everyone. Let go of trying to fix what doesn't want to heal. Let go of the version of you that kept tolerating the bare minimum just to feel loved. You do not need their validation to grow. You do not need to hold pain like a badge of strength. Real strength is quiet. It's the tear you wipe alone. It's the no you finally say. It's the goodbye you give yourself permission to make, even when no one claps for you. Forgiveness helps, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. You deserve to stop living in the shadow of what hurt you. You deserve mornings unburdened by memories and nights free from silent wars in your mind. Create rituals of release. Write it down. Burn the page. Breathe deep. Feel the weight lift, even if slowly. Choose every day to stop feeding the pain. That's what letting go really is. A choice, over and over again, until one day you look around and realize you're lighter, clearer, whole. And let this sink in. When you let go, you don't become empty. You become available. Available for real love, for inner peace, for purpose that feels true to your soul, for friendships that energize instead of drain, for a life that doesn't just look good, but feels real. So if you're holding on to someone who isn't holding you back with the same strength, if you're stuck in a memory, a grudge, a version of you that feels fake, stop, breathe, let go. Don't fear the space that remains after letting go. That space is sacred. That space is yours. Fill it with you. Lesson 13, control your focus, control your freedom. Most people don't lose their lives to failure. They lose them to distraction. In this modern world, your attention is the most valuable currency, and every second, someone is trying to steal it. If you don't learn to take control of your focus, you'll be pulled in 1,000 directions by things that don't matter, by people who don't care, and by thoughts that were never yours to begin with. You wake up, and before you even connect with yourself, you're connecting to the noise of the world, scrolling through highlight reels, drowning in notifications, reacting to what's outside instead of responding from within. But the truth is simple and life-changing. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, and your life follows. Whatever you feed your attention to will grow in your life. Feed drama, and you'll feel anxious. Feed complaints, and you'll feel powerless. Feed negativity, and you'll feel empty. But feed peace, growth, and purpose, and you'll evolve into the strongest version of yourself. Buddha said, "Rule your mind, or it will rule you." And ruling your mind begins with mastering your focus. Your focus is your filter. It determines how you experience reality. Two people can live the same day, but the one who focuses on problems will feel defeated, while the one who focuses on possibilities will feel empowered. Focus is not just about what you do, it's about what you allow in. It's about who you give access to. It's about what you consume when no one is watching. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything. Most people give it away to distractions, to anxiety, to the dopamine rush of chaos. But you can take it back. Begin your day with intention. Before the world pulls you in, pull yourself back. Sit in stillness. Reflect. Write. Meditate. Breathe. Let your inner world become your foundation, not your afterthought. If something costs you your peace, it's too expensive. If someone drains your energy every time you speak, you don't need to justify creating space. If an app makes you feel like you're not enough, delete it. If a habit pulls you away from your highest self, replace it. Don't wait until your life falls apart to fix your focus. Start now. Focus isn't just about getting things done. It's about becoming who you were meant to be. It's about building a life that feels good on the inside. not just one that looks good on the outside. When your focus is clear, your decisions become easier. You stop chasing everything. You stop reacting to nonsense. You stop giving energy to people who wouldn't do the same for you. You become selective, intentional, powerful, and most of all, you become free. Because the truth is, a distracted mind is a trapped mind. But a focused mind, that's a liberated one. And don't expect to master it in a day. You will slip. You will get pulled in. But each time you catch yourself and return, back to now, back to truth, back to presence, you're winning. Every time you choose your peace over impulse, your growth over comfort, your focus over chaos, you rise. So protect your attention like it's sacred, because it is. And remember, in a world where most people are addicted to distraction, your ability to stay focused is not just rare, it's revolutionary. Control your focus, and you control your entire life. You'll stop being ruled by other people's opinions. You'll stop reacting to what doesn't matter. You'll stop letting the world dictate how you feel. You'll begin to move differently, quieter, deeper, stronger. And that's when you become unshakable. Not because life gets easier, but because you stop leaking energy. You stop being available to every little disturbance, and instead you became a force of clarity, purpose, and peace. So if you do one thing today, let it be this: take back your focus. It's not just a habit, it's your freedom. Lesson 14. Let go of the past, become limitless in the present. There's an old saying, you can't move forward if you're constantly looking behind. But let's get real. How many of us are guilty of constantly looking back? How often do we find ourselves trapped in the loops of our past? Those moments of regret, shame, anger, or sorrow, replaying them over and over again as if they have some power over us. The truth is, the past only holds power if you allow it to. When you give energy to the past, you are surrendering your power to it. And by doing that, you trap yourself in a life you've already lived, unable to break free and truly step into your greatness. What if I told you that everything you've experienced up until now is just a series of lessons? What if the wounds you carry, the mistakes you've made, the pain you've endured, none of it had to define you? What if you could rise above all of it and live a life of freedom where your past has no hold on you whatsoever? Most people spend years, sometimes decades, letting their past dictate their present, carrying baggage they don't even realize is dragging them down. Your past is not your identity. It's a series of experiences that happened once. That's all. You are not your past. You are who you choose to be today, right here, in this very moment. When you let the past consume you, you stop evolving, you stop growing, and you miss out on the infinite potential that exists in the present moment. Buddha's wisdom shines through here. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. This is the key. The past is a prison that keeps you bound in your old stories. It's the what-ifs, the could-have-beens, and the should-haves that keep you stuck in a loop of regret and self-doubt. The future, on the other hand, is a land of endless possibilities, but it's unreachable if you're still living in yesterday. It's easy to say, let go of the past, but how do you actually do that? It starts with awareness. Recognize when you're stuck in the past. Notice when you're replaying old conversations in your head or wishing things could have turned out differently. The second you catch yourself doing this, stop, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, this moment is the only moment that matters. The past is a fleeting illusion. The only truth you have is the power you hold in the present. Next, practice radical forgiveness. This is not just about forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. So often we carry the weight of our own mistakes, thinking that holding on to guilt will somehow make us better. But it doesn't. Forgiving yourself means releasing the emotional chains that bind you to your past. It's about saying, I am human. I've made mistakes, but those mistakes don't define me. I am free to move forward. I am worthy of a new story. You have to cut the emotional ties to those old narratives. They are not you. The hardest part of letting go is realizing how much you've been holding on to for far too long. Let go of your need to be right. Let go of the need to win every battle. Let go of the expectations you've been carrying of yourself and others. When you let go of these things, you release the burden of living up to a past that no longer serves you. To truly let go of the past, you have to break free from the emotional anchors that are tied to it. This could be anything from a traumatic event to a relationship that ended badly, to the failure you couldn't seem to move past. But remember this: when you hold on to old pain, you're keeping your energy tied to a time that's long gone. Energy flows where attention goes. And if your attention is focused on what's behind you, you're draining yourself of the vitality to create your future. Here's the most liberating part. The present is your freedom. The second you stop allowing your past to dictate who you are today, you open the door to limitless potential. You open the door to the possibility of being anything you want to be, doing anything you want to do, and having anything you want to have. When you release the past, you make space for the future to unfold. In essence, letting go of the past is about reclaiming your power, the power to decide who you are, what you want, and how you will live your life moving forward. It's about embracing the truth that the only moment that truly matters is the one you're in right now. And when you make peace with that, when you let go of the weight that's been holding you back, you free yourself to live a life without limits. Now, as you step out into the world, remember this: the storms of life will come. They always do, but they no longer have to define you. When you own your mind, protect your peace, and reject the drama, you'll discover an incredible truth. Nothing and no one can touch you again. You become unshakable. You become unstoppable. The power to stay calm, focused, and resilient in the face of any challenge lies within you. It's time to stop being a puppet to your circumstances and start being the force that shapes them. Be the storm that stands tall and unbothered while everything around you falls apart. Let me ask you, what's stopping you from owning your peace? What's holding you back from stepping into the unshakable power that's been inside of you all along? It's time to take control, protect your energy, and rise higher than ever before. If you're ready to transform, to live with unstoppable clarity and focus, the first step starts now. Don't wait for the storm to pass. Become the storm. Thank you for watching. Stay calm, stay powerful, and most of all, stay unshaken.